Welcome everybody to Sunshine House, and it's Eel Week. And I'd like to introduce you to our friend Eel. He's going to talk to the children about the letter E and also about where eels live and what they eat. An eel is very much like a snake, but he lives under the water, eats fish, and eels live in many different types of water. They live in the ocean, the rivers, the streams. So eel can be a friend. Let's do our jingle, girls. E says E, 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 eel. I like the fish for a meal. And it's really great to use the musical sticks, and sometimes the children use their very own S.P.A. book to trace the letter with their fingers as we're chanting the chants. Okay, we're ready to get started about all the fun things we're going to do for Eel Week. Miss Jackie.
Okay, well, also during Eel Week, we're talking about fall and harvest. So apples, we're going to learn about apples, how they grow, where they grow. We're going to be looking at them, feeling them, smelling them, tasting them raw, cooked as an applesauce, liquid, and also other things you make with apples, like apple pie and apple bread. And that way they can find out their likes and dislikes and enjoy the apples. And another activity that we'll do, since the leaves are starting to turn colors, I don't have any orange or red ones yet, but we've got a lot of green and yellow ones and brown ones. We're going to have the kids bring in a lot of leaves, a bag of leaves, and sort them. We'll go by sizes, colors, shapes, whether or not they came from the same tree, if they think they're going to change any more colors, which one is like the biggest, which one is the smallest. We can take them and we can drop them to see how long it takes them to get to the ground, if the big ones take longer or shorter. And also, you can play leaf toss with them. You can see if you can catch a leaf when you toss it to a friend. So you're working on a lot of finger movements and a lot of big gross motor skills too. So,
yeah,
a lot of fun.
Sounds like a lot of activity. Yeah.
Another fun activity that we will be doing for harvest is apple harvest, and I am going to be doing apple printing with the kids. We cut an apple in half, that way it's showing the star on there, and we dip it into paint, and I already have a piece of paper with apple print on it. So what I do is I have the kids grab onto the popsicle stick, that way they don't get no paint on their finger, but that's okay if they do. We just take the apple and we make apple prints on it. The reason why I like to put it on paper like this is because sometimes when you do less of a paint, it kind of gets the picture there a little bit better.
So you're just using green, but would you be using yellow and red too
yes,
on that day?
Well, you could talk about the different kinds of apples that you could, use or taste.
Sure, I'm sure when Miss Jackie's doing tasting too, there's sweet apples, sour apples, so you're doing an apple tasty thing, yeah.
Continuing with the apple theme, I'm going to be doing an apple circle time with them. So first we'll start off with our intro, which is actually about apples. And so all the kids will stand up and we'll start the song. It's way up high in a tree. And then before we start the song, we'll count the kids. So if there's 8 kids, we'll say 8 little apples smiled at me. So I shook the tree, and we'll have them shake the tree as hard as I could, and down came an apple, and then we'll say their name, and that will be the apple, and they'll sit down, and then we'll count our apples again. And so we'll do that until there's no more apples left on our tree. The book we're going to be reading is called The Apple Pie Tree. It's a very cute book. It goes through all the seasons, and it talks about how to make an apple pie. It talks about the trees, all the different shapes, all the different seasons that they go through, summer, fall, spring, winter. And it talks about when they're ready to pick and how you make an apple pie and what you put into them. So it's called The Apple Pie Treat, and it's by Zoe Hall. And then for our activity, we're all going to get a big parachute. The parachute I'll use is actually bigger than this, and we'll spread it out. And so all the kids will get a handle, and they'll be shaking it. And then we're going to put our apples, so we'll have a couple apples, red and green, and we'll toss them in there, and they'll get to shake it high and shake it low and watch the apples fly and watch them stay low, and maybe even sit in the middle of the parachute and have the apples bump into them while they're sitting there. So a very fun activity for the kids.
That'll be really exciting.
Yes, they will love it.
They love the parachute.
In the afternoon, for art, we're going to be painting with leaves. Since we're talking about leaves, we're talking about fall. I'm going to get small leaves, big leaves, maybe crunchy ones, ones that are a little bit softer, and the children are going to dip the leaf in paint, and they can go ahead and with the paper that's labeled with their name at the top and paint with leaves on the top. You guys can take the leaf, put it in the paint, and then the children can go ahead and print with the leaves. They can paint with them. They can use the stem, see what they can do, you know, with the leaf for art. So it'll be really exciting.
Very creative when they used something different than a paintbrush. You know,
Help with their sensories too.
Yeah, it does. And it's different, like Miss Lori said, it's different than a paintbrush. You can paint with anything in your house if you're brave enough to try.
Also, during Leaf Share Day on Circle Time, don't forget to bring your leaves. So please encourage your children to bring leaves to share. We will be talking about them at Circle Time. We're going to be talking about their color, their size, their shape, and how they're all different. We will also be doing an activity with leaves that we have by colors, and we're going to be putting the labels of the color on the floor of red, brown, and yellow, and I will be giving leaves to each of our children, and they're going to be putting them in the group where they belong. So matching them, the colors so brown to brown or yellow to yellow. It shows them matching. Eye coordination about looking for looking at the word and making sure that it says red on there, B for brown, and Y for yellow, and matching the colors to it also. We also have a book with the same leaves that we're going to be talking about it on Leaf Share Day, and it's called Leaf Man. And it also shows us the different colors of leaves, how they turn from green to yellow, brown, and red. And it talks about the different kinds of leaves that are happening in fall. Very beautiful book.
Yeah, the children are going to like that book. It has a lot of different leaves that maybe they don't normally see that we
And
have
we can
outside.
also like match the leaves that they bring to share with them today, and we can put it to the book.
Yeah, you can figure out what the names of the leaves are.
Yeah, very good, very good. So I know that one thing we didn't touch on, speaking about eels, I know that we're having some kind of tasting party, and it has to do with seafood, so that'll be kind of a fun day too. Yeah. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.